Guys, the biggest question is how are you gonna be able to live and work permanently in Canada? What are the steps that you need to take in order to get you from where you are right now to where you wanna be tomorrow, which is of course, Canada. Hey everyone, my name is Id and today I'm gonna show you how to live and work permanently in one of the participating communities of the rural and northern immigration pilot program. Now I do understand a lot of you guys are asking why other people are getting their nominations, their invitations, their PR visas, whereas I have been applying my entire life and not getting a single invitation to live and work in Canada. Where is the gap? Well, good news, my friends, because there is another community of the rural and northern immigration pilot program that is starting to accept immigrants as soon as possible. And this community is none other than any guesses? Save your answer because we are gonna reveal that later in this video. Before we move on, guys, please consider subscribing to my channel, hit the bell, hit the thumbs up. I really appreciate all of the support. Again, from time to time, I hear a lot of people are saying that these pilot programs prefer Canadian residents. But the reality is, it's the opposite. In fact, communities prefer immigrants because immigrants like you bring international expertise. You're giving Canadian companies that competitive edge by using your knowledge and experience to serve diverse local and international markets. Secondly, you guys can communicate effectively in more than one language. You guys can speak French, Filipino, Hindi, Arabic, Telugu, Hausa, Mandarin, and so on and so forth. Thirdly, you guys readily adapt to changing environments and circumstances. And finally, you guys help Canadian companies do business with the world. Imagine, guys, this community is very warm and welcoming to talented immigrants like you, and so I don't see any reason why you shouldn't be invited by this community. But let's get straight to the point. Once and for all, can you please tell me what are some key points that will increase my chance of being invited by this community and eventually become a Canadian permanent resident? So this community, guys, is none other than the North Bay community, and the following are the key points that increase your chances of getting a community recommendation from North Bay. And the first one is having a good knowledge of one of the official languages of Canada, so it's either English or French. Second, having a genuine desire or intention to settle in the community gives you a higher chance of getting a community recommendation. And then having an experience of staying in the rural communities of Canada is a big plus. And of course, if you guys have good connection to someone already living in North Bay, is a great advantage. Another thing is that if you guys have an education from a post-secondary institution in North Bay, gives you a higher chance of getting a community recommendation. And finally, having an occupation that is necessary for North Bay's labor market requirement puts you on top of other applicants. Now, if you guys don't have those key points, then no worries at all, because for as long as you have the basic requirements, then you should be fine. And having said that, let's dive into the basic requirements. The first criteria is related to work experience, so you guys must have at least 1 year of continuous full-time or part-time equivalent work experience in any occupation in the National Occupational Classification, also known as NOC, within the last 3 years. Now let's take a look at the complete list of NOC codes that people need to have in order to be eligible under this community. Now the first one is related to healthcare and social work, which is NOC 3012. Of course, we have the registered nurses and registered psychiatric nurses. NOC 3413 is for nurse aides, orderlies, and patient service associates. NOC 3233, which is for licensed practical nurses, followed by NOC 3112 for general practitioners and family physicians, NOC 4152 for social workers, and NOC 4214 for early childhood educators and assistants. Moving on, we have NOC 4212 for social and community service workers, NOC 4412 for home support workers, housekeepers, and related occupations. We have NOC 3111 for specialist physicians. And now moving on to the next category, which is for skilled trades, both for licensed or unlicensed. We have NOC 7312 for heavy equipment mechanics, NOC 7321 for automotive service technicians, truck and bus mechanics, and mechanical repairers, NOC 7311 for construction millwrights and industrial mechanics, and NOC 7611 for construction trades helpers and laborers. And then we have NOC 7237 for welders and related machine operators, NOC 7271 for carpenters, NOC 7241 for electricians, and NOC 7251 for plumbers. Moving on, we have NOC 7511 for transport truck drivers, NOC 7512 for heavy equipment operators, NOC 7535 for other transport equipment operators and related maintenance workers. Now for the next category is for business administration. We have NOC 111 for auditors, accountants, and investment professionals, NOC 121 for administrative services supervisors, and NOC 1311 for accounting technicians and bookkeepers. And the fourth category is for information technology. We have NOC 0213 for computer and information systems managers. We have NOC 2147 for computer engineers. We have NOC 2171 for information systems analysts and consultants, followed by, of course, NOC 2172 for database analysts and data administrators, NOC 2173 for software engineers and designers. Now, if your NOC code, guys, is not mentioned in the previous list of NOC codes, then no worries, because you are gonna be under Open NOC, where it says applicants with a job offer not mentioned will be considered only at the discretion of the Community Recommendation Committee. High skill level occupations such as engineers, aviation technicians, pilots, architecture, legal, supervisors in call centers, and chefs are examples of jobs being considered under the Open NOC. Now let's go to the second eligibility criteria, which is for English proficiency. Now you guys must have a CLB level of 6 if your occupation falls under NOC 0 and NOC A, a CLB level of 5 for NOCB, and a CLB level of 4 for NOCC and NOCD. Now the third criteria is related to education. So you guys must have a Canadian high school diploma equivalent. In this case, you need to obtain a WES report. The fourth criteria is related to financial ability. So you guys must be able to support yourself along with your immediate family members when you arrive in Canada. So let's take a look at the proof of funds requirement. These numbers are in Canadian dollars. If you are a single applicant, that is going to be 8,922 Canadian dollars. If you are a family of 2 members, that is 11,107. For a family of 3, that is 13,654. For a family of 4, that is 16,579, and so on and so forth. Now for the POF or the proof of funds, you guys need to submit any of the following. Number 1, a current bank statements or certification letter. Number 2, a proof of your savings balance. Or number 3, deposit statements. Note that you do not have to submit this proof if you are already working in Canada with a valid work permit. The fifth criteria is related to job offer. So guys, a job offer from a participating community that matches the skill level of your work experience is mandatory. Now, before we get into the step-by-step process to live and work permanently in North Bay under the Rural and Northern Immigration Pilot Program, let's discuss a few more things why immigrants like you are much needed in North Bay. And this is because immigrants are lifelong learners. Immigrants are flexible and able to adapt to changing circumstances, and immigrants are able to take informed and calculated risks. Also, immigrants are aware of new perspectives and approaches. They are unafraid of hard work, and they are organized and able to work to tight deadlines. And most importantly, immigrants contribute technical expertise, creative and innovative thinking, linguistic and cultural diversity, and global insight and interaction. Finally, let's talk about the step-by-step process. And the first step is to meet the federal eligibility requirements. So a while ago, I have mentioned the entire eligibility requirements. However, if you guys need more details, then you can always come to this page. The link is down in the description box below. Now, step 2 is to meet the community-based criteria. So the community criteria, guys, is divided into two different categories. The first category is for candidate eligibility criteria. All of the information can be found right here. Feel free to pause this video if you wish to. And the second criteria is for candidate recommendation criteria. Everything, all the details can be found right here. Feel free to pause if you wish to. Now, a very important information is that if you guys are applying from outside of Canada, then you must be available for a 15 to 30 minute video conference interview with an RNIP representative if you have been provided a full-time job offer by an approved employer. Applicants who are currently in the community may also be required to attend an in-person or virtual interview at the discretion of the committee. Now, moving on to the third step is to obtain a job offer in the community. Guys, make sure that the job that you have been offered is a full-time job. So for this step, guys, you are gonna have to go to northbayrnip.ca/applicants. I repeat, that is northbayrnip.ca/applicants. And then once on this page, you're gonna have to go to number 3, which is find a full-time employment in the community. And down here, this is where you can create or build your candidate profile in order to apply for an eligible job in the community. Now, it's saying that this platform is still not up, but no worries, feel free to come back soon, and this is gonna be up very soon. Now, there is a note here that says you must have an RNIP offer of employment form filled out and signed by your employer. It is your responsibility to upload this form as part of your application. If you guys need that form, you can find it right here on this button right here. Now, moving on to step 4 is to complete Schedule 1 form IMM 5911. So guys, same thing, go to northbayrnip.ca/applicants, and number 4, this is where you can get the Schedule 1 Rural and Northern Immigration Pilot Form IMM 5911. Now, the fifth step is to submit your application. Again, back to northbayrnip.ca/applicants. Guys, on this page, you're gonna have to go to number 5, which is submitting your RNIP North Bay area application. And along with your application, you are gonna have to submit the following. The first one is your IMM 5984E, which is the offer of employment form, followed by the IMM 5911, which is the Schedule 1 form, and then of course your language assessment results, your work experience documentation such as your reference letter and pay stubs, your proof of funds, and your educational assessment, which is of course your WES report. Finally guys, we are on the last step, which is step 6, which is to submit your additional and supplementary information. One more time, back to northbayrnip.ca/applicants on number 6. This is where you can find all of the additional and supplementary information that you must submit along with your application. This includes previous work experience, in the community documents if you have any, and so on and so forth. Guys, again, if you're looking for a representative to handle your case, then you must fill out the IMM 5476. Now guys, the process might be a little bit confusing, and so if you need some guidance, then feel free to book an appointment at ztcanada.com/book an appointment. I repeat, that is ztcanada.com/book an appointment. Thank you so much guys for watching. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to write down in the comment section down below. If you guys haven't watched my previous videos about express entry, you can try going through these videos right here, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Good luck.